Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litsa and this is our podcast number 130. It is April the 10th, 2025. I'm so excited to be here with you on another Thursday where we get to catch up. And I have the great pleasure of showcasing all of your makes. And of course I'll let you know what I've been up to. Now the wonderful thing is that we are coming up to the weekend. So let's get started with tonight's oohing and ahhing. I cannot wait. I always get so excited for this part. So let me pop my little clipboard down and we will get right into it, guys. Now our friend Thea, she has sent in this awesome size 9XL poncho which she made for a friend of hers. It's already been shipped off to Tassie, where her friend has been waiting for it. So I think by now he would have received it and I'm sure he's going to wear it with so much joy, because those of you that don't know, Tasmania gets very, very cold in winter here in Sydney, Australia. Now, Thea tells us that her friend said to her, I don't mind what colour you make it. So she's used a lot of her scraps, which is awesome. She's included colours like the browns, the tans, the greys. I can't remember if there's any blue in there. Have I written? Yes, and there is some blue in there as well. So Thea tells us that this also fits a single size bed. So you can imagine, you know, how much love went into crocheting that. I'm sure your friend adores it, Thea. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. Now, here you'll see a set of 10 flower coasters, I should say, that Thea made for her daughter's friend as a gift. And there's also a beautiful basket that she made, you know, for them to be housed in. Absolutely gorgeous, Thea. Now here, Thea tells us that she joined in Judy at Peace Witchcraft's her thrifting challenge. They had a $15 budget, and this is what Thea bought with it, everything that you saw, all those items. And now over here, you'll see all the beautiful things that Thea created or made using those yarns. Now, there is a selection of things including a beanie, fingerless gloves, some scarves, some face washes, and some scrunchies. That is so awesome, Thea, and thank you for sending that in. What a wonderful challenge. I don't think I'd be able to find anything in my thrift shops for $15 that's, you know, crochet related, but in saying that, I haven't looked for over a year as well. So that was a wonderful challenge. Awesome. Now, our friend Geraldine at G Crochet Off the Hook. I hope I got that right this week, Geraldine. Now, Geraldine has been joining us in for Beanie of the Week, and last week's Beanie was the Candy Sticks Beanie by Spring the Fibre Enthusiast, and it was a lovely, lovely tutorial, which Geraldine totally agrees with. She says that she really enjoyed the tutorial, and here you'll see a teen size beanie that Geraldine crocheted using Elite Yarns DK Snowball. It is a 100% acrylic yarn in the colorways navy, blue, and caramel. And Geraldine also used a 5.5mm clover hook. I have to say that I absolutely love this beanie in two tones. I made mine a little bit different, but I would like to try it in two tones now and definitely in a solid color. So Geraldine, thank you so much for sharing your beanie with us. It is absolutely beautiful. Now our friend Pearl, she's been doing some cross stitching, which I cannot wait to see when she finishes that. So stay tuned, guys. Now here you'll see that Pearl has crocheted this gorgeous hexicardie using Karen's Cinnamon Swirl in the colorway Latte. Delicious, right? I absolutely love, guys, and please zoom in, the panel of granny squares that Pearl has used to join the two hexagons together. I think that is so beautiful. I have never seen that before. I wonder how many of you have made one the same way. I've actually seen that. So thank you so much, Pearl, for sending that in to us. It's a beautiful hexicardie that Pearl does tell us she crocheted for herself. It's always nice to make something for ourselves. Now, our friend Aussie Sandy has 3 pieces of her beautiful resin art that she's sharing with us, and some crocheted pieces as well. Now first, here you'll see a cake platter gifted to Sandy's sister-in-law who's recovering from knee surgery. I hope she's doing well. Please send her big hugs from us, Sandy. Now Sandy said that she also added a yummy selection of cakes to go with it. Of course she did. I think that those cakes would have sweetened her up, her sister-in-law, and she would have felt much better immediately. Now, this is an adorable cat vase gifted to Sandy's neighbours who just love their cats. Now, I think this is such a unique and beautiful gift. You know, absolutely stunning. I'm sure that your neighbours really did appreciate you gifting them that. Now, over here, oh my goodness, this ocean scene is spectacular. It took 4 days to complete, adding many layers of scenery, coral, and fish each time. That's just amazing. Now, Sandy's husband has claimed this for his office. Of course he has. Why wouldn't he? It is absolutely gorgeous. Now, Sandy has continued to wow us now with her crochet pieces. Now, here Sandy has made 2 donuts for our friend Sally at Nanny Moon's Crochet for her Crochet Donut Buddies cowl. Now, the first is an owl made using Stylecraft Special DK in the colour stone and birch yarn in the colour silver and marble yarn for his eyes. So cute. And then this little koala is made using birch yarn in the colour silver and trimmed in marble yarn in the colour number 1004. And I just think he is very, very cute as well. Now, last but certainly not least, Sandy has added some more trauma teddies and octos to her charity makes. That is so sweet. So thank you so much, Sandy, for sending in all of your beautiful makes for us to ooh and ah over. Now, our friend Diane is also joining in Beanie of the Week, and last week being the Candy Sticks Beanie. Here you'll see that Diane has also sent in a 2-tone beanie. Absolutely love that. Now, Diane did use Yarn Bee Soft and Sleek yarn with a 5.5 millimeter hook. Diane said she'd love to make this beanie again using Christmas colours. I absolutely love that. When you wrote that in your email, Diane, I thought of candy canes. So I think that is a great idea. So thank you so much for sharing your beanie with us. Now, our friend Sandara has sent in some of her makes, and now here you'll see some of Sandara's soap sacks. Now, Sandara made 25 in total for Glenda at Creative Grandma's soap sack drive. Now, these will be distributed to various churches and shelters in the area where Glenda lives. And I have to agree with Sandara when she says we are a very kind and generous community, Crochets, and you certainly are, Sandara. So thank you for sharing your soap sacks with us. Now, last but certainly not least is our friend Vicky. Now, Vicky has sent us this super cute turtle, and the pattern is by the lovely Ella at No Catchy Name. Vicky used burnout blanket patchwork yarn for the shell and Temu yarn for the fins and head. Now, let's zoom in, guys, into the eyes. Vicky used green snowflake safety eyes. How pretty are they, guys? I have never seen them before. So, Vicky, thank you so much for sending in your very, very cute turtle. And that's it, guys. Everybody's makes for the week. Thank you so much for sending them to me so I can showcase them and share them with everyone. I always hear the oohing and the ahhing in the background. I absolutely love that. And I wonder how many of you have added something to your crochet to-do list. I have to say that little turtle has been on my list for ages. So now let's get right into Beanie of the Week. Now, this week's Beanie of the Week comes to us from Repeat Crafter Me. It is an oldie but a goodie, I think, and it is the Hearts Beanie. Now, some of you may remember this from a year or so ago. And Repeat Crafter Me does have quite a few beanies that I would like to add to our repertoire. Now, this tutorial that I will link in the description box only shows you how to make this strip here. So the actual hearts rows. But any of you that have made a very generic vanilla beanie before and you know how to increase, that's what she talks about. And there's about 7 or 8 rows of increases, which is wonderful because you can make this hat as big or as small as you like. And then you just end up with some back post, front post for the brim. Very, very simple make. I really did enjoy making it, and it is one that I really do like to have in our, you know, repertoire. Now, for this beanie, I use all the colors that you saw there, the red, the pink, and the white, are all Spot Saver USA. Well, it was called USA style. Now it's just called Spot Saver. It's 100% acrylic yarn, and what I love about it is that it's easy to work with. Quite accessible here for us. When it's on sale, I like buying it, and it is acrylic, which is very important, especially when you're making donated pieces or donated beanies. And of course, for my beanies, when I use that yarn, I always use my 6mm chocolate clover or more hook. Now, the only other crochet that I've done all week, and some of you may have already seen my roundup of all the things I'm taking to the markets this weekend. So that was in there. So now I'm done with the markets. I'm going to have a couple of weeks where I resume, you know, my, you know, whips that I've put to the side. And one of them that I'm so happy that I picked up again is my Hexicardi for the Hexicardi Party 2025 with our friends KK and Kristen over at K&K Crochet. I have made or had made the first panel. I'll just show you here to remind you. So this is the first panel. So this has been sitting there all by its lonesome for quite a while now. It's coming up really nice. I love working with this yarn. I'll talk to you about it in just a moment. And now I've got one that looks like a baby one here. Oh my goodness, how adorable is that? So now I've started the other panel. I have tried to match the colors up as much as I can, but we'll see how that goes at the end. Once again, I always like to say to myself that when I'm making a Hexicardi, that both sides don't have to be identical unless you really do plan it very well. Now I'm using these gorgeous latte cakes. Oh my gosh, if you've never worked with one of these guys, they are amazing. I can't tell you how soft they are. The yarn actually flies off the hook. They're so beautiful. It is an acrylic yarn. There is quite a bit of in this cake, and I'm trying to remember is it mulberry, or let me just remind myself of the color. I should know it, but it's got beautiful purple hues and that in it. I always have difficulty finding colors. I don't know why. Oh, my apologies. This yarn, no wonder it's so soft. It's 58% acrylic and 42% nylon. And this one is in the color blackberry. That's right. I thought that's what it was. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at it up nice and close, guys. Oh, that almost looks like a butterfly or a love heart. So this one I'm using an 8mm hook with it. And I had written it down that time, and I didn't have to go and revisit one of my videos to see what it was. So I've only put like an hour or so in this, and I'm at the part now where I am actually just repeating the 2-row pattern until I get it to the same size as the other one. And then I'll do the panel which joins the back and extends to the bottom, and then you do the sleeve. So I tried not to have a very bell-like sleeve this time, so we'll see how we go. But oh my gosh, is it going to be so soft to wear? Absolutely. And considering how much like fluffy it looks, how much halo there is that the right terminology? It really doesn't shed very much. I thought there'd be fibers flying everywhere. I do end up with some on my black dress, like there is one sitting here now, and I do make sure I have to pick it off before I go back to work when I'm crocheting in my car. So that's the only thing that I've picked up since I've finished all my market makes. Sewed in all the ends. That took forever. Lesson to be learned, hard lesson. So now, like I said, I'm looking forward to going back to my temperature blanket, which in actual fact I have actually added all the weeks up until the middle of April. So I haven't fallen behind, but there are some other things that I really would like to, you know, just take and play with, you know, and crochet for the next couple of weeks. And then I'll decide if I want to do the July markets, which means I'll have to start crocheting some more inventory, and I'll have to think of what I'll be making, because I don't want to make the same things again. Unless something was a big seller, you know, hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, guys. We'll see how we go. Now, the thing that I haven't even thought about until now, I have neglected it a bit, is our voting closed on the 30th of March. So over a week ago, for the Crochet Society box number 53, and now that I know what you all want me to crochet, I need to get cracking on it, so hopefully that'll be done over the next couple of weeks. I still need to make my square for our birthstones cal. Thank you to everyone that's been sending in your makes. There are quite a few sitting there in my inbox, and also the pride dress for Dana for our best dress 18-inch doll dress cal for 2025, and quite a few of you have sent in your beautiful dresses as well, so thank you so very already, I should say, so thank you very, very much for that. Now the other thing that I did do was a little bit of retail therapy, and I really need to get this done because I want to do a whole review on these, but it's just a matter of time, guys. So I purchased these three granny square kits. I've had granny squares on the mind, so I bought these. There's this one here, which is a scarf. And then there's this one here, which is a tote bag. And this one here, that is a headband. So I really, really want to see if, you know, they look in real life as good as they do in the picture, and what the yarn that they've used like is. So I'm going to get all that to you as soon as I can. I only have one more sleep till school holidays, which I'm very, very excited about. So that means I'll have 2 weeks off. But being Easter in that first week, it is very, very busy for me, including going to church, especially with my mum, and also doing some baking and preparing for the midnight feasting that we do after church, which my son and my daughter-in-law are actually hosting this year, which is lovely. And then of course Easter Day, so that is a whole week away, but I know that I need to do quite a bit of planning. Oh, and of course I've got to also dye the red eggs and decorate them, so that's going to be my first week. I'm just thinking out loud now with you guys because I need to plan my crochet around Easter as well. I know that a lot of you are doing that at the moment, so it is a very fun and exciting time. Now, other than that, I don't think that there is very much that I need to share with you or have to share with you. Tomorrow is bump in at the markets. Once again, just drawing myself back to that. I'm getting a little bit excited. I don't think it's nervousness. I just think it's excitedness. There's a bit of, you know, butterfly action happening all over me, especially in my tummy. And I do have a package there that I'm looking at, and some more coming in, I do know, in the next week or so for our Crocheting for the Community 2025. I can't wait to share these very generous donations with you, because this month is the last month that we're collecting, and then I'll be able to hand them over to Anglicare, which is going to be amazing. Firstly, I cannot wait to give them everything we've collected. And secondly, I will have a lot more room up here in my yarny room, because it's been such a very, very busy month. With preparations for the Crocheting for the Community, and also all the market makes. There is stuff everywhere again, guys. Once again, this yarn room looks like it's very well loved, very well lived in, and that there is a lot of, you know, crafting going on, especially crochet. So I think that's it, guys. I definitely don't have very much more on this list here, so I'm going to call it a night. It has been beautiful weather here in Sydney, Australia. I think all around Australia, most of our yarny friends that I chat to have said that they're really appreciating the cooler nights, because we're all sleeping a little bit better. Cool mornings when I'm hanging up the clothes before I go to work, and then beautiful sunshine mainly through the day, which is beautiful. We have had some rain, but that's okay. That's always very welcome. Less water in the garden for us, you know, it just comes down from the sky, which is awesome. So I hope you're all keeping well. I hope you've had good crochet time in, or whatever crafting you do. But, you know, as we are a crafting community here, predominantly crochet, I always refer to the crochet. So the weekend is coming up. Make the most of it, guys. Rest up if you need to rest. And if you're working, keep up, you know, your spirits and keep up your strength, because I know a lot of us are also shift workers, you know, first responders, and we have great, you know, responsibility in our job places. So take care, everyone, and I will see you all very, very soon. Bye bye for now.